The LG C2 is the world's first 42-inch OLED TV, the smallest OLED TV that you can currently buy. It has high expectations to be one of the best TVs of 2022, but has LG lied about how good it actually is? This is my third OLED TV. I also own an LG CX 55-inch and LG A1 48-inch. All of those are great panels and I've had no major issues with any of them. The biggest weakness of OLED TVs has always been their screen brightness. With the C2 Evo panels, this has been improved and you can expect to get around 20% brighter images. In addition to this, I also found extra settings that allowed you to boost the peak brightness levels of the display. Now, depending on the screen size that you actually choose, the actual total increase in screen brightness will be completely different. The LG C2 42-inch has been discovered by some users to be using an older WBC non-Evo panel, when it is marketed and sold as using a newer WBC-E Evo panel, which is being used in the larger screen sizes, basically anything from 48 inches and up. To keep things simple, the WBC panels are less efficient, less color accurate, not as bright, and also more prone to burning, which is frustrating as the 42-inch is most likely going to be used by people as a computer monitor, which has a lot of static elements on the screen. Furthermore, as the organic LEDs are smaller on the 42-inch, this is going to make it harder for them to emit as much light. So there are a few trade-offs to purchasing the 42-inch version of the LG C2 that LG are just not very clear about, and you're not really getting the flagship Evo TV that you're led to believe by the box and also the marketing. However, regardless of all of this, and LG hoping no one would realize that they lied about the panel, I'm a big fan of the improvements with the C2. The new A9 Gen 5 processor has a lot of advancements with AI image, improving object separation in the foreground and background by enhancing colors while also keeping them accurate and true to the movie maker's intention. The all-new Dynamic Tone Mapping Pro also improves the picture, creating a more vivid and detailed HDR experience. Just like with previous LG OLEDs, the C2 supports up to 4K 120Hz and has 4 HDMI 2.1 connections, one of which also supports eARC for Dolby Atmos surround sound. In addition to this, the C2 has variable refresh rate with both G-Sync and FreeSync, making this the perfect gaming TV for both PC gamers and also next generation consoles. WebOS is also much quicker with the new processor. Comparing this to my LG A1, which often can be laggy when navigating apps, the improvement is huge. However, I do still feel like the latest version of WebOS is rather cluttered, especially compared to the one that was on the CX. I feel like the old version on the CX is actually better than the newer version that's on the C1s and also the C2s. The new version is just so cluttered. The trending now bar is useless information that makes it harder to see your list of apps. Also, why is it recommending Christmas movies in the middle of April? There are a ton of new features in WebOS for the C2, which includes OLED Care and also Multi-View. This I was really excited about, as the LG OLEDs have lacked a picture-by-picture mode for so long. Multi-View is meant to let you watch two sources at the same time. For example, you could be watching the news while also playing on your Xbox. However, at the time of filming this video, it just does not work correctly. Hardly any apps support it, even LG's own apps are temperamental, and HDMI sources don't get detected correctly. This is a massive shame, but I am sure that LG will fix this in some future software updates and it will operate as intended. The LG C1 was probably the best gaming TV last year, and it has only gotten better with the C2. If you're looking for a small TV for a bedroom, the 42-inch is perfect for anyone who owns a PS5 or Xbox Series X, as LG's OLED TVs are the only ones in the market that let you game in Dolby Vision at 120 FPS, which means they support every single format your game console can output. There are also dedicated game settings you can adjust inside the game optimizer, such as VRR, enabling G-Sync and FreeSync, along with a bunch of picture settings. A new feature for the C2 is aspect ratio, which lets PC users switch to 21:9 or 32:9 if they want to have more of an ultra-wide point of view, either for gaming or productivity. New apps on the TV for gamers also include Nvidia GeForce Now and Google Stadia, so you can access a world of cloud gaming directly from your TV without the need for a gaming console. I've been using this 42-inch as my main computer monitor for both gaming, video editing, and all those types of tasks, and the mouse cursor feels incredibly responsive and accurate whenever you move it on the screen. I will be creating a full review of my experience of using the 42-inch C2 as my main computer monitor, so make sure you subscribe subscribe for that video so you don't miss it when I upload it. But one issue that I want to mention now is the flickering. I have no clue what is causing this. I've tried different cables, but it continues to just randomly happen. I did do a software update on the TV which reduced the frequency of this, but it has not resolved the issue. I especially noticed having HDR enabled on Windows was the main trigger for the green flashes. So I also updated my RTX 3080 Ti drivers, which didn't impact anything, so it's clearly an issue with the TV. For comparison, when I used the LG CX and LG A1 as my main PC monitor, which was for multiple months, this never happened to me once. The remote for the C2 is exactly the same as last year's for the C1 and also A1. You've got all of the same quick launch buttons for your favorite streaming services such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, and also Disney+. Something that is new, however, is voice commands built into the TV. We've always had voice commands built into the remote, so you could trigger Google Home or Amazon Alexa, for example, but now you can say, "Hey LG," and it will directly trigger basically a voice assistant on the television, where you can then go ahead and launch apps or launch like search things on YouTube or whatever. It works pretty well, but actually it's a little bit annoying because the microphone is next to your speakers. So if you're watching YouTube a lot and you're watching reviews of LG C2 TVs or just your tech products in general, sometimes it accidentally triggers its own TV because the microphone's right next to the speakers. So it was actually really annoying that this feature existed. Overall, the LG C2 is a great TV. However, with high expectations from the CX and even the cheaper A1, like literally I am an OLED fanboy, I can't help but feel that the C2 is not as good. I don't like the new plastic build quality. I understand that it makes the TV lighter and more environmentally friendly for LG to ship across the world, but it just does not look like a premium £1,300 product. This TV is a lot of money, and the feet stands look like they were 3D printed in someone's bedroom. They've got so many rough edges. And the countless software issues at launch have made this TV frustrating to use. Features we've paid good money for don't even work, and the panel isn't even the one that we were promised at CES 2022. To avoid wasting money on your next OLED TV, you should watch this video next, as you may be surprised that the cheapest LG OLED may be all that you need.